Boker Or, Masechet Makkot, Daf Yomi Daf Yud Bet Amud Aleph 12a1 says the Gemara. We just mentioned that we said Aliba de Rabbi Eliezer Kulam Lo Pliga. According to Rabbi Eliezer, everybody doesn't agree. Doesn't meaning everybody agrees that what that batla kiuna. When is the machlok then? According to Rabbi Yoshua, you remember we were talking about what happens right now if the person killed and all of a sudden they found out that the kohen was a ben grusha and chalutza. And we're not talking about a regular kohen. We're talking about kohen gadol. Right, so the question is it batla kiuna or meta kiuna? Do you say that the kiuna died, as if that the guy died because he became a ben grusha chalutza, or do you say that it was just batel, it was annulled? So Manda Amar Meta, according to the Manda Amar that says it's going to be Meta, he also like Rabbi Yeshua. Manda Amar Batla, according to the Manda Amar that says Batla, it can look at Rabbi Yeshua. When does Rabbi Yeshua say it over there? Hatam, because it says Barech Adonai Chelu for Davtitze, which means that you're going to be Mekabel Beratzon Atavot Bet Hamidash Afilu Chalalin Shabo. Even a Chalal should be Beratzon. Aval Hacha, but here even Rabbi Yeshua is going to be Modeh that Batla the Kehuna. Okay, fine. Next, Nigmar Dino. Yeah. So we said what happens right now if it's going to be Nigmar Dino. So he has to stay in the Miklat, and even if he's going to be needed by Klal Yisrael, that he's the Sad Tzva Yisrael, like Yoav ben Tzruya, he doesn't go out. So Amar Rav Yudah Rav says Yudah Rav Sheteta Yota Yoav Beota Shah. There were two mistakes that Yoav did in that moment. Tichtiv, but it says in a pasuk, Vayanos Yoav El Hashem, El Hashem Vaychazek Bekanot HaMizbeach. Yoav came and he wanted to save from Mital Piadin that Rosh HaMizbeach kolet et harotzeach. Ta'a she'eno kolet el hagago v'hu tafas bekanotav. First of all, you know what protects the mizbeach? The gag. And he grabbed the karnot. Karnot are the four corners. He grabbed the keren and he wasn't on the gag. Right? Ta'a she'eno kolet el mizbeach bet olamim. Also, he made a mistake that it's only the mizbeach and the bet hamikdash. Right? But not. And he was tofes a mizbeach of Shiloh. Okay? So therefore, it was two mistakes that he made a mistake over there. Abaye says, he also made a mistake. He's also going to make a mistake, but it's only going to be a kohen in the middle of his service that is going to be protected. And he's a zar. He's not a kohen. He's a stranger. So what is he doing? Grabbing onto the mizbeach. He thought that the mizbeach was like, how do you call it when the children are coming and they say, I got, I forgot what the word is. It's like, that they're playing tag and also I'm safe. Right? Like I touched now you can't get me. Like, that's what he thought. Okay? So Amar Shakish says Shakish, Shalosh Tauyot Atid Sarosh al Romi Litot. There's going to be three mistakes also that the Sar of Rome, right, which is the Samech Mem, is going to make a mistake. Tichtiv, Mizeba Me'edem Chavutz Begedim Botzra. What does that mean? Toeshen Kolet Betzer Vehu Golel Botzra. Betzer is the one which is a city of refuge. He ran to Botzra. It's not the same city. Number two, Toeshen Kolet B'Shogeg. Also, you only go to Ir Miklat if you did it b'shogeg, not b'mezid, and he did it b'mezid. Third mistake, it's only going to be a human being that's going to be saved, and he's a malach, so he's not going to be saved. So because of these three mistakes, these are three mistakes also that Samech Mem will make in the future, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will actually come and kill him. Amar Rabbi Yavu says Rabbi Yavu, Arei Miklat lo nitnu likvura. Do you know that Arei Miklat were not given to bury the people there? Only for Chayim and not for Kivura. So Meitveh says, well, how could that be? We already learned meaning he is supposed to be buried there. So he says, no. Only a Rotzeach can be buried in the Miklat. Everybody else, all the other Levim and everything, they have to be buried somewhere else. They cannot be buried in the Miklat. They cannot be buried in that city. Only the Rotzeach can be buried in the Miklat. Nobody else. Fine. 2 dots. Keshem Shair Koletet. So too, the Tchum is going to be Kolet. When we know we have a contradiction. Yashav Bah Velo Bitchuma. It's only you're going to live in it, but not in the Tchum. So Rabbi says like that's not a question. Kan liklot the kan lidur. What does that mean? Our Mishnah is talking about liklot et harotzeach. Here we're talking about ladur. Okay, what does that mean? Right? We're coming to say that the rotzeach is not going to be permitted to be kovea dirato only in the city, but not in the tchum. Meaning he has to actually live in the city, not in the tchum of the city. Okay? So says the Gemara ladur, right? Tepu klei, why don't we just learn it from? Deno sim sadeh migrash, velo migrash sadeh, velo ir migrash, migrash ir. Meaning you can't change the different zonings. The zoning codes. So if you can't make the sadeh into a migrash, right? Migrash is like an open area. right? Or a migrash into a sadeh, or a migrash into a city, or a city into a migrash. We're talking about to prohibit him to come and to live in the mechilot, in the caves, which are under the tchum. Meaning he cannot live in Gaza tunnels, yeah? He has to live in actual, no caves underneath the tchum. That's to be an actual city. Fine. Rotzeach sheyatzah chutz tchum. What happens right now if the rotzeach goes out of the tchum? Be with me. It's taking time to get back into it. One more time. The Rotzeach comes and he goes outside of the Tchum of the Miklat. What are you allowed to do with him? So you're allowed to kill him, correct? Is it a mitzvah to kill him or you're allowed to kill him? Machlok Rabbi Yosef Galilei and Rabbi Akiva. So it says, Son of Rabbanam, to the Braita, V'ratzach goel adam et Rotzeach. The goel adam is going to kill the Rotzeach. Mitzvah biad goel adam. Right? Ve'en goel adam reshut. Right? Sorry. Ve'en goel adam reshut biad kol adam. Meaning this. Really, there's a mitzvah for the goel adam to kill the murderer. Is a mitzvah. The goel adam is the family member that catches him. Yes, the closest of kin that catches him. He's got a mitzvah. No, no. If there's no goel adam, then everyone is allowed. Im en goel adam, reshut biad kol adam. These are the words of Rabbi Yosef HaGalilei. Rabbi Akiva Omer, no. It's a reshut biad goel adam. Meaning there's no mitzvah to kill. The goel adam has permission that if he has to kill, he's allowed to kill. But really, man, it's not a mitzvah. Meaning somebody you're not doing a mitzvah. It's if you want to and you need to because you're so, you have to avenge the blood. Okay, so you're allowed to. You have a reshut. But anyone else is chayav mitah. Meaning if you come and you kill the guy, you get killed because you weren't allowed to kill him. It's only the goel adam that could kill. The same thing, he gets killed. Because that's it. Once the Kohen Gadol, doesn't matter because once the Kohen dies, he gets a kapara, and therefore he's a free man. You can't kill him. You can't touch him. He's a completely free man. So now says the Gemara, my tamador v'segaleh. What's the reason in v'segaleh? Miktiv, it's written im ratzach, which is mashma that it's a reshut and not a mitzvah. It says v'ratzach. V'ratzach is a tzivui. You have a command. Okay. That's what Rabbi Yosef Galilei says. V'ratzach is a command. Rabbi Akiva, he says, Mikativ is written yirtzach, that he will kill. It's written v'ratzach, which means that it's a reshut if he does kill. He's going to be killed. Keman, who does that go like? Not like Rabbi Yosef Galilei, and not like Rabbi Akiva. It doesn't go like either or. Okay. So Huda Amar, he says like this Tana. The Tanya was learned to the right. It says, Adon do lifnei adal mishpah. Matomul, what does it mean to come teach you? Lefish nemar, but since it says v'ratzach goel adam et rotzeach, yachol miyad. I would have thought to say it's going to be immediately. Tamul comes teach you Adon do lifnei adal mishpat until he's going to come into the mishpat. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Akiva, hay Adon do lifnei mishpat. What is he going to do? My darshbe. So they needed the which we learned in a Braita. Rabbi Akiva says, Milan Sanhedrin shera'u. Meaning, imagine right now you have a betin. You have Sanhedrin. And they come and they witness a murder. They're not allowed to come and touch them until they set him up in front of another betin. Now you're going to tell me, why do they have to have another betin? They saw it. They are the betin. They are the betin. They saw it. So he says, no, adomdo lifnei aida lemishpat. They have to get a court case. Ad she'amo v'din acher. That means even though they're a Sanhedrin, imagine you have 23 dayanim. They come and they watch it. You still have to set them up in front of another betin. They're going to testify. They're going, now nigmar din. Now you could kill him. It's a powerful concept. You understand? You have a judge that subpoenas you. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. If he's going to leave the city, so enli ela b'mezid, that's only b'mezid. What happens if he left b'shogeg? So he says minayin tamulomar im yatzo yetze mikom makom. Anyway, that means even if by accident he left the city, he could still be killed by the goel adam. So imagine the goel adam could be just waiting for him outside of the city, and just whenever one day all of a sudden the guy comes strolling out, boom, that's it. That's the way it is. And he's mutar. Yeah. So ask the Gemara Tanya that it's only going to be mezid. Ne'erag b'shogeg ole. So what are you talking about? He says, no, Hakasha, Hakaman Damar, Damrina, and Dibra Torah, Shomini Adam, Adamra, right? Lo Amrina and Dibra Torah, Shomini Adam, which means it all depends when you know when you say Yotze, the double expression. Does that mean is like the way that the way the Torah is speaking or not? So Amar Abaye says, Nistabra, it's logical to say Command Amar Dibra Torah Shomini Adam, Shlo Yisafo Chamur Mitchilato, but it can't be that the end is more Chamur than the Tchilah. Just like Tchilato, if it's going to be the beginning of Mezid Ne'erag V'Shogeg Goleh, so to Sofo Mezid Ne'erag V'Shogeg Goleh. Meaning like this. What was the beginning? The beginning is when he killed the first time around. When he killed the first time around, only if he killed B'Mezid, he gets killed. If he killed B'Shogeg, he gets sent to the Miklat. So we're not going to make that the Sofo, which means if he accidentally left the Miklat, he's going to be killed. You understand? Like, it doesn't make sense that the Sofo is going to be more Chamur than Tchilato. So Tani Chada, one of them taught, Av Sharak Benona Salo Gwel Adam. A father that comes and he kills his son, right? So now the other son becomes a Gwel Adam against the father. It's powerful words, right? So he says, Goel Adam, Tanya Chalaman said, no, his son does not become Goel Adam. So Lema, why don't we just say it's a machlok, Rabbi Kiva. So he says, V'tizbira. Whether it's according to the Mandam Mitzvah, whether according to the Mishut, is it going to be permitted? How could a son kill the father? Ravuna, Hendan Mishmael, Lakolan Shliach, Ela Lakotol Lo Chutz Misit. Meaning the son can never become a shliach for the father, not to hit him, not to do nothing except for a mesit. Mesit or mediach, he's allowed to come and kill the father or to do all these things against the father. The Torah says, Lo tachmor, lo tachaseh alav. He says, like a son a question. Habib no, Habib no. One of them is his son, and one of them is his grandson. So we actually learned an incredible yesod from here. When we gave a shiur on grandchildren, right? There was going to be a differentiation. How did you learn beben beno? Right? So here it says it's the grandson, the son of the one that he killed. So we when we gave a big Dvar Torah on this, we mentioned it could be that a grandchild is only obligated to respect his father, his grandfather, because of his father. But if his father is already dead, then maybe he has no chiyuv to respect the grandfather. So here, since the grandfather killed his father, and now he's not chayav anymore, lechabedet sabo, so now he could kill his grandfather because he becomes a gwel adam against his grandfather. It's an incredible. It was based upon this kimana. When we learned it out, there's a lot of yun and everything, but we gave an entire shiur. When are you obligated to respect grandparents? Is it because in the Torah it doesn't say anywhere you have to respect the grandparents? It says, but we learned that it's an extension, but that's only maybe because of your father's obligated in his. So for your obligated, you know, it's not like you have to go up. But anyway, fine. Okay, next Mishnah. Ilan. Yeah. Ilan. Sheru ome betoch hatchum. What happens if you have a tree which is inside of the tchum? And the branches are going outside of the tchum. If he's going to be outside of the tchum, and then the branches are inside. Everything goes after the nof, after the branches. Meaning, because we said that you have to be within the tchum of the Yumiklat. Meaning, you don't have to be inside the city. You could also go outside. But once you go outside of the tchum, that's when you have a kaddish. Yeah. But now, what happens though is that even though we just said now that you're going to, but what happens now if you have a tree? Now the tree is inside of the tchum, the branches are outside, or the opposite. The tree is outside, but the branches are inside. So in such a case, that's what we said, that it's going to be that we go after the what? After the how do you call the branches? Everything goes up to the branches. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara, Urmini, we have a contradiction. Ilan shomer bifnim venofo venote lachutz. Im omer bachutz venote lifnim. Mi keneged chomav lifnim kilifnim. Keneged chomav lachutz kelachutz. Meaning like this. Remember, Maaser Sheni, you have to eat it inside the walls of Jerusalem. Maaser Sheni. What is Maaser Sheni? The second 10% on years? No. 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, not under 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, and 3 and 6 is Maaser Ani, and 7 is Shemitah. It can be 7 is Shemitah. Okay, so therefore, if on 1, 2, 4, 5 you have Maaser Sheni, you're supposed to eat it up inside the walls of Eretz Yisrael, inside the walls of Jerusalem, of Yerushalayim. Now what happens is you have a tree, mamash right there. So what happens? So there we learned that I don't care about anything. Anything which is opposite the wall, meaning connected the wall inside, is considered inside. Anything the wall, meaning the wall is what breaks everything up. I don't care about whether it's the branches or the trunk or no. Wherever the wall is, from this to this part of the wall, it's considered inside. This on that side is outside. That's it. So says the Gemara, Maaser are mikra karamit. You're asking me a contradiction from Maaser Sheni to Ir Miklat? Maaser bechomat alachmana. Maaser, everything is dependent upon the wall. Are miklat is totally in dira, in living. So therefore, benofo metadirla. A person could live in the branches. You can't live in the ikar, right? Where do they make the tree houses? The tree houses they make it on the branches, right? It's not on the actual bark, right? On the nof. On the nof is the branches, right? It's on the nofot. It's on the branches. They get the heavy big branches, and that's where they come and they make the tree house in there. V'rami maaser maaser. We're going to ask a contradiction. Maaser to maaser. Tanya was going to the right. Birushalayim halach nof. You go after the nof. But miklat halach nof. And he says 1 second. But there is a stirab to do with maaser and maaser. Why? Because we did learn in Masrot that in Yerushalayim you do go after the nof. Just like so. What's going on there? So Rav Kana says like Ashia Rabbi Yudah Rabbanan. You're right. It's Machlok Rabbi Yudah Rabbanan. The Tanya was learned on the Raita. You'd bet 12b. Yeah, 12b. Rabbi Yudah Omer. Rabbi Yudah comes and he says, but me'ara, yeah, in the me'ara, olech achar pitcha, you go after the entrance. Meaning, I don't care where you go after the entrance. Right? Ba'ilan, olech achar nofo. In the tree, you go after the nof. So he says, Emor d'shamalel Rabbi Yehuda gabe maaser. Maybe he holds all that only by maaser, and that's going to be lechumra. So therefore, what happens is ikaro b'chutz v'nofo b'fnim. If the ikar of the tree is going to be outside of the walls of Jerusalem and the branches are going to be on the inside, just like nofo, lo matzi parik, it cannot redeem from maaser sheni because you're not going to redeem maaser sheni b'Yerushalayim, right? So he says, v'ikaro nami lo matzi parik. So to the ikar also not. If the ikar is on the inside and nof is on the outside, just like you can't eat it without redemption, so to ikaro you cannot eat it without redemption. But to do that, I understand that if the ikar is going to be outside and the nofol bifnim, you can't kill him on the branches, so too you can't kill him on the ikar. Right? But if he's going to have that the ikar is going to be on the inside and the branches are going to be on the outside, just like he could kill him on the branches, so too he should kill him on the nof, on the ikar. He says 1 second, but he's inside. Meaning, explain to me like this. What do we say? We go after what? The branches. So 1 second. If you go after the branches are outside of the tchum. But now he's on the ikar. He's on the actual tree, not on the branches. You could kill him? You just told me you go after the branches. Yeah, but 1 second, but he's still inside the tchum. Meaning the ikar is still inside of the tchum. So how could you kill him? You're right, the branches are outside. But right now, where is he? He's inside. So what do you mean you go after the branches? Amar Rava, it's all Dutch. Yeah, okay. So Amar Rava says, Bikaro, you're right. Ikaro, according to Rabbi, you can't kill him. Why? Because he's inside, right? So if so, Kai benofo, he's on the nof, on the branches. So he could kill him, how? The chitzimu tzorot. He could kill him with arrows or with stones. But he could kill him in such a way. So when is the machloket then? Can he use the ikar as a sulam to the nofo? More savar havi ikaro darga nofo, which means that the goel adam can come and use it. Or more savar lo havi ikaro darga nofo, that he's not allowed to use it. Meaning, can the goel adam use the tree which is on the inside part to get to the branches to kill him? Remember, there's huge branches. So imagine he's on the branch. Now, it's true, he could come and he could take an arrow, or nowadays a gun, and he could shoot him down. What happens if he doesn't have that? He only has a knife. He only has a sword. Can he climb on the trunk to get to the branches to kill him on the branches? Because again, in the branches, he could kill him. But can he use the trunk to get there or not? So the machloket. One mandamar said he cannot. The other one said, yeah, why not? He could use it as a dargah. He could use it as a... Because at the end of the day, he's not killing him on the trunk. He's killing on the branches, and the branches he's allowed to kill him. Ravashi says, no. You know what the Mishnah says, Maya Charanof? Afa Charanof. You also go after, and you go after both, which means, right, we're not going to go always after the Ikar. Sometimes we're going to go after the Nof, and sometimes we're going to go, that means we're always going the Chumrah, basically. Right? So therefore, sometimes we go after the Nof, and sometimes we go after the trunk. Sometimes it all depends, meaning it's not 100% one. Sometimes this, sometimes that. Okay, everything depends on sometimes. Okay, fine. Mishnah. Okay, Mishnah says, Harag be'ota Eid, golem mishchuna l'shchuna. What happens if a person goes to the Eid Miklat and he kills again b'shogeg? So then he has to go to Galut from one neighborhood to another neighborhood in the same city. Again, he's already in the Eid Miklat. And then again he kills b'shogeg. So he has to be golem mishchuna l'shchuna. Uben Lewi, golem me'ir le'id. What happens if he's a Ben Levi? So he's going to be goleh from one city to another city, from one of the cities of the Levim to another one. Tanra, we learned in the Braita, says the Gemara, only in your lifetime. What does that mean? Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and he tells that Moshe was going to be zocheh to separate the Remiklat. Makom, mimkomcha, from your place. Actually, Shama, that they were actually going to Galut in the desert. So where did they go? Lechem Magalin, Machne Leviyah. Meaning they used to go to Machane Leviyah to have the Ir Miklat. Ir Miklat was Machane Leviyah. So you could go from one city to another city. And if he does go to his own city, so then it's going to be koletoto from like one shchuna to another shchuna. What's the pasuk? Ki bimiklato yeshev ir shekelato kvar. We're talking about that it already was kolet. Okay, what does that mean? It was already kolet. So it says that just like it was koletoto the first time that he killed accidentally, so too it's going to be koletoto the second time around as well.